Am I the asshole for buying my niece 2 pairs of glasses and letting her get contacts? I have a 12-year-old niece, Haley. Haley lives with her dad, stepmom, and 4 younger step-siblings. 2 boys, 2 girls. Don't know what the exact ages are, but they seem to be between 5 and 10. Her mum passed when she was 3. Haley's dad and stepmom are not well off. They live in a 3-bedroom house, so Haley shares a room with her stepsisters. The kids get 1 pair of shoes. They reuse school supplies until they're falling apart, and if the clothes still fit, they don't get new school clothes. I'm doing a lot better, but I refuse to help him with money because if I give him money with the direct instructions to get Haley some decent shoes or a nice jacket, I expect the money to be used on Haley, not split between all 5 kids. He also dislikes me because he blames me for CPS investigating him and his wife for leaving the kids home alone every day. Haley stays with me after school and sleeps over a few nights a week because I won't drop her off if there is not an adult present, and I told her not to get on the bus under any circumstances, so they can't tell her that I wanted her to take the bus home that day. Haley and 2 of her step-siblings needed glasses. Nobody was able to take Haley for her eye exam and to get the glasses, so they asked me to take her and gave me $100 with the instructions to get the cheapest pair we can find. I was driving Haley to the eye doctor, and she told me she really wanted contacts, but her dad said no. I talked to the receptionist, and they were able to get her in for a contact fitting that day. After her contact appointment, we checked out the glasses, and she found 2 pairs that she really liked, so I told her to get both. I took her back after school a few days later and picked up a few boxes of contacts. Her new glasses came in a few days ago, and she loves them, but her dad is furious about the glasses. Then he found out about the contacts. I guess Haley was keeping them in her backpack and never told him about it, so he told her that she gets to keep 1 pair of glasses and everything else has to stay at my house because he's sick of me and Haley rubbing her stuff in her step-siblings' faces. Haley responded by packing most of her stuff and walking to my house. Now she's refusing to go home. CPS came for another investigation and was told by the kids that Haley doesn't live there anymore, which is not helping my brother-in-law's case. Now my brother-in-law wants me to make Haley come back and stop spoiling her so that she won't rub it in her siblings' faces anymore. Her rubbing it in their faces means she put both pairs of glasses on her dresser, but it wasn't fair because the other kids could see it. Am I the asshole for getting her contacts and 2 pairs of glasses? In the comments, Chocolate Chip Wizard says, "You realize that your brother-in-law and his wife are collecting a Social Security survivor benefit check for caring for your niece, right? If she's staying with you, he should not be claiming that check. This should be much higher. The amount of people that have kids they hate for financial benefits is disgusting. My daughter-in-law is getting survivor benefits for my 2 grandsons. Even though my son did not live with her, thank God, my grandsons have been here with me for the past 3 months. Their mum just got back from Hawaii. I can't wait until she gets audited and needs to account for the $1,600 that she gets for each boy a month." Not the asshole. Can Haley live with you? And OP says, yes. Take her on permanently, OP. Not the asshole. They apparently can't afford the other 4 kids. Not the asshole. Haley's mum is dead. The step-siblings have a living mum. As someone whose mum died while I was growing up, I can say that having a living mum is way better than 2 pairs of glasses. But Haley did not get to choose about her mum. Let her have the glasses and contacts. It's a very small consolation. I think it's commendable for OP to step in and take care of her. OP lost his sister and still took on a vital and regular role in their niece's life. Haley will remember that when she achieves her goals. We should be focusing on that instead. Yeah, this one is one of those stories that transcends the issue in the title, and I think Opie is very well aware of that. Obviously, you're not the asshole for buying your niece 2 pairs of glasses and contacts, but Opie, you know why you wrote this story. You know why you're coming to Am I the Asshole for this one, so really, just take her in, communicate with CPS, figure out whatever you can do, take on guardianship of her, as best as you possibly can, because that seems to be the crux of the issue. I hope that this update is you doing that, because it really sounds like she needs to get out of that household, and her own blood father cares naught for her. If anything, it sounds like he is abusing her, and that she would be much better off with you. So please do that. And now, on to the update. Hayley has been in the hospital since Saturday for either ulcerative colitis or Crohn's. Her health insurance pretty much only lets her go to the county hospital and medical centers, and even this is going to get expensive. On top of Hayley's stomach situation, she also has type 1 diabetes and ADHD. The ADHD is currently not being treated. We live 20 minutes away from one of the best children's hospitals in the country for both GI and diabetes. They also have a great psych department and ADHD clinic. This would be covered under my insurance. 35 minutes in the other direction is another world-renowned children's hospital that I would be able to send her to. I sat Hayley's dad down the other day and I showed him how much I was paying each month for Hayley between her health insurance premiums, her insulin, monitor and pump, her EpiPens, doctor's appointments, etc., and told him that I refused to continue to pay out of the arse for her to receive medical care that is subpar at best, when if I was her guardian, she would get some of the best care possible for less than what I'm paying now. After a long discussion and a lot of back and forth, he agreed to give me guardianship of Hayley. We started the process yesterday. She will live with me, but will see her dad every other weekend and holiday. We talked to Hayley about it today, and she is very excited to officially live with me. In the comments, Merlerin says, "Your sister's husband seems like a real piece of work, and you are not the asshole for wanting better for your niece. You are the hero." Oh, it's actually OP's brother and his wife, not the other way around. Plus the wife's 4 kids that they constantly leave alone, with only his daughter from his first marriage to take care of them. I'm glad OP is around to take care of their niece, since it seems that none of the other adults here are willing to. OP says, "He is not my brother." The commenter had it right. My sister is Hayley's mum. She passed, and he remarried Hayley's stepmom. Hayley is so lucky to have you in her life, not just for the financial support, but for the love and advocacy that you are showing. You stepped up where the system and circumstances failed her, and that's something she will carry forever. This is the best update. I'm so happy that the dad did the right thing, but she has you and will get the best possible care. Stepmom is a piece of work. So is dad in a way for not doing what is right for her in the first place. Hopefully she'll get the support and love now that she needs, as it's a fresh start for you both. Absolutely. Thank you for doing the right thing, OP. I knew you would, I just knew you would do it, and I'm proud of you for doing so. Still not the asshole. I'm glad that it was that easy to get guardianship handed over to you. I really did imagine that he would fight that more, because in a lot of situations like this, I just assume that those people are in it purely for the money, that they are finding ways to spend the money on themselves and not those kids, and giving up that specific check of a survivor on the Social Security would be bigger than the other kids, and that would not be something he wanted to give up. So thank God he is a good person insofar as he will hand over guardianship in spite of the fact that he is losing that money. Thank you for the story, OP. I'd love to know what you guys think of this one down in the comments. Let me know. Our next post is by user MostCycle, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for locking up my stuff because my college roommates keep taking it without asking?" I, 20 female, live in an off-campus apartment with 3 other girls. In the beginning, things were actually good. We weren't best friends, but we were friendly and we got along. We would watch movies together, cook sometimes, and I thought we had a decent vibe. But over time, things started to get messy. At first it was little stuff. Snacks going missing, my shampoo running out way too fast, laundry detergent mysteriously gone. I tried to let it slide, but it kept happening. When I brought it up, they would either deny it, laugh it off, or say they would replace it later, but they never did. Then it crossed into bigger boundaries. One day, I was scrolling Snapchat and saw my roommate wearing my wristwatch, something she had never asked to borrow. Another time, I came home to find that one of them had invited friends over and let them sleep in my bed. On top of that, they kept using my special cooking tools, stuff that I bought with my own money because I love cooking, and left them dirty, greasy, or even slightly damaged. It got to the point where I felt like I had no control over my own belongings, so I finally decided to lock things down. I bought a lockbox for toiletries, a mini fridge for my room, and I started locking my bedroom door whenever I left. Now my roommates are pissed. They're saying I'm being paranoid and dramatic, and that roommates are supposed to share. But I think there's a huge difference between sharing and just taking someone else's stuff without asking. The vibe in the apartment is awkward and tense now, and a couple of them are barely speaking to me. They think I'm the jerk for not trusting them anymore, but honestly, they gave me plenty of reasons not to. So am I the asshole for locking up my stuff after my roommates kept crossing the line? In the comments, Tasty Jakema says, "The beginning of the end for my first roommate situation was when roommate and his girlfriend started eating my food and feeling entitled to it because only one of them was working and barely meeting bills without any consideration that I was left with no food and had no extra money to buy more. OP, my best suggestion is to start looking for another place to live and move at your earliest opportunity. Either end of lease or sooner if you are month to month, because your roommates are not going to change and will likely become worse." So, common supplies, supported by a household budget that everyone contributes to, or a locked down, bring your own toilet paper type situation. Not the asshole. Also, check Amazon for non-permanent cabinet locks, so you can lock your cookware and staples in the kitchen. Absolutely not the asshole. It's your stuff which you paid for with your own money. They aren't entitled to it just because roommates share. Ignore them. You aren't the problem. Yeah, we see situations like this a lot, and every time, it's not your fault that the parasite suddenly is cut off from the blood supply that it was sustaining itself on. There is no good reason for the vibes in the household to change because you are locking your things up, because you are locking your bedroom. We all know the vibes only change in that situation because they don't get the goodies that they were stealing from you. But yet they'll do the narcissist's prayer when you question them about it. Don't give in to their projection, OP. You're doing the right thing by yourself here because they are damaging your cookware. It's not good enough that they left it greasy and dirty. They damage it as well? Who the hell do they think they are? No, you're not the asshole. Get the hell out of here. And now, onto the update. Hey everyone, OP here. Sorry it's taken me a bit to update. I had a lot of schoolwork to catch up on, and honestly, I just needed a breather before dealing with roommate drama again. So, some progress has been made. Last night, my roommates actually apologized. It wasn't a huge sit-down or anything, it was more like each of them coming to me separately throughout the evening. They admitted that they'd crossed some boundaries and said they would try to be more respectful going forward. A couple of them even said they hadn't realized how much it bothered me until I locked everything down. I appreciated the apology, but I'll be honest, I'm not undoing any of the changes I made. The lockbox, the mini fridge, and keeping my bedroom door locked when I'm not around are staying. Having my own things secure has been such a relief, and I feel way less anxious now that I know that no one's going through my stuff when I'm gone. The vibe in the apartment is still a little awkward, but calmer than it was right after I locked everything up. We're not exactly back to watching movies together on the couch, but at least no one's borrowing my watch, cooking with my special tools, or letting strangers sleep in my bed. That's always a big step forward in my book. I don't know if things will ever go back to how they were at the very beginning, but at least there's an acknowledgement now that what they did wasn't okay. I'm just going to keep my boundaries in place and focus on my studies and my sanity. In the comments, CRK says, "Everything should stay locked. They don't need access to your stuff. Your stuff, your rules. Boundaries exist for a reason. Keep them locked." I'm sure the 3 roommates will turn on each other since they'll be taking advantage of each other, using someone's expensive toiletries, eating someone else's food and snacks. You did fine. Your roommates acknowledged and apologized, which is great. No one's borrowing my watch, cooking with my special tools, or letting strangers sleep in my bed. Seriously? What the hell is wrong with your roommates that they think this is okay? Things changed because you didn't accept being taken advantage of by them. Keep the boundaries you've established. Absolutely. Keep those boundaries there and keep the consequences of those boundaries absolutely happening if and when they do try to cross those boundaries once again. They gotta know that you will act on it like you did this time. But Jesus Christ, basically, borrowing your watch, I view that as a bit of stealing your watch, breaking your special tools, damaging it, and letting strangers sleep in your bed. Bro, this situation is genuinely a lot worse than your average roommate drama that you deal with on Reddit. I'm surprised you were able to find a middle ground here. I would imagine that most people would lose their shit at their roommates about this and move out. To me, that feels like a crazy amount of disrespect that they have gotten away with. It's great that they apologized, but if it were me in that situation, I don't know how accepting I'd be of it. Maybe I'm an evil, spiteful person, but hey. I'm glad you were able to resolve this one. I hope it doesn't happen again. And I look forward to seeing them fight each other now that they're going to start stealing from each other instead of you. Thanks for the story. Thanks for the update. Everyone, let me know what you thought of this one down in the comments below. Our next post is by user Cosmic Jed, titled, "Girlfriend just punched me in the face multiple times." So my longtime girlfriend just had an absolute meltdown after we left dinner from her parents' house tonight. It all started because her dad and I were watching old family videos and joking about how her and her sisters were dressed and just really light stuff about how big her great-grandpa's nose was. Her dad pointed it out and was like, "Dude had a schnoz on him." And I laughed. That's all. I swear to all things holy. Fast forward to me driving home tonight, and she turns off the music on the radio that I'd turned on and starts trashing me about my family and how it's strange and creepy that I actually get along with my mum, dad, and sister. Oh, we're off to a good start. And that I have a drama-free relationship with them and she can't stand it. OP, I bet all of her exes were really crazy people, and that she was the normal one in those relationships, and that, yeah, all of them were the reasons that those past relationships broke up. So anyway, I'm reading my Kindle in the living room of my house, and she goes off again about some petty bullshit that I somehow did, and I'm reading a book. So I did what anyone else would do and just shut up and let her vent and get it out without giving her any ammunition to feed on. Wrong fucking move. I took my eyes off of her for a second to continue my read on the couch, and she gave me a 3-piece so fast that it caught me off guard. I jumped up so she wasn't on top of me. She proceeded to slap the taste out of my mouth. Then she blocks the front door and screams for me to get away from her while blocking the only exit to leave. I'm in my boxes, and I'm trying to grab my phone off the floor that went flying across the living room. All I can hear is her yelling with the door open, trying to have the whole neighborhood hear this shit. Anyway, I'm now sitting in my car with just boxes on, with a bloody lip, and I thought I should ask the internet for advice, and by internet, I mean Reddit. In the comments, Get the Sweet Spot says, "I would have knocked her out. I'm not into hitting women, but if she's throwing punches, oh well. This also sounds like drugs or drinking. Regardless, get her arrested and move your shit while she's in jail. Don't bail her out. There is no excuse for this. I actually get along with my parents. It's because her family sucks and sounds trashy." OP replies, "She's the only person I know who smokes weed and gets nasty and rude towards people. It blows my mind how she acts. OP, it's time to end it. This could flip around to you two fighting and the police believing her. I do believe she would lie to save her own butt." Deduce2 says, "Call the police immediately to have something on record. Any further interactions or conversations with her should be recorded until you can get the fuck out of there. And you need to get the fuck out of there, or kick her out if it's your place. fuck that noise. I don't condone hitting women, even when it's justified, and there are absolutely women out there that do shit to deserve it. It's best to remove yourself from the situation so it cannot escalate further. OP says, "It's my place, but I'm definitely not going back home tonight. Fuck that." Specialist Bit says, "So you went to Reddit instead of the police and hospital? I think a hospital report would help solidify a restraining order and suing her. Make her pay for the medical bills. People need to be held accountable for their actions." And OP says, "Well, I've never been hit before like that by my girlfriend, and I wasn't sure if we'd both go to jail even if I called. So I need to ask before I do something that could affect my life big time." Well, since you're the one with the injury and she isn't, she most likely would have been sent to jail. Get in the habit of getting evidence, from pictures to videos, because some women will lie and say that they're the ones abused. Bro, you need to call the police, right now. Have them come and treat you first. Tell them that you were bleeding, and then press charges against her. You also need to file a restraining order. This is assault. It's not manly to suck it up and get over it. You could end up with a big hospital bill over this. OP replies, "Yeah, that's what's stopping me. My subconscious is like, be a man, no cops needed. But damn, after reading everyone's comments, I feel obligated just for my protection and freedom to call." Small update in the comments from OP. "She's probably destroying my desktop and TVs as we sit here and type. I just drove to the country club to grab some of my clothes that I leave in my locker. I had my buddy come meet me in the parking lot, so I've got shorts and a shirt on now. Life's getting better." Yeah, OP is not really doing himself any favors by not just immediately calling the police and getting them to come intervene in this one. And I'm glad that he is not those people at the start of the comments that are like, "She started swinging on me, I'll start swinging on her. Equal rights, equal lefts, that's what I'm saying." I get that those people are angry. I get that those people probably would do something like that in this situation. But I can only really see swinging back on her without video evidence of you doing self-defense, without any reasonable justification of it, ending in her calling the cops, her getting all the neighborhood out against you, and you having assault charges pressed against you because there is such a big bias with domestic violence against men. You know, men beating up women. And if they see a man that's beaten up and a woman that's beaten up, they're just going to assume that the man beat her up and she hit you back in self-defense. Like, to me, that's obviously my bias. It seems like you would be in a no-win situation there, and it's great that you went to go get all your clothes, got dressed, got help online, but please, call the cops, go to the hospital, get this all on paper, get as much evidence against this demon as possible. You owe it to yourself in this situation. And now, onto the final update. First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave me advice in the messages that were sent in my inbox full of support and more advice. Before the comments locked, I just had my buddy meet up at our local country club so he could come grab some of my clothes that I left in my locker, and I just ended up staying the night over at his house and talked about what happened. His wife said 99% of what everyone on Reddit told me to do. Contact the police, file a report, and get a restraining order on the crazy chick. I slept on it. The next morning, I wake up at my buddy's house and I get a call from her dad and sister telling me how sorry they were about everything that happened the night before and how she's always acted crazy when someone didn't agree with her or gives her a reality check. They told me that she was over there sleeping and they would gladly come over and help retrieve her things from my house. I go back to my house in the morning to inspect the damage. Luckily for me, there was only a few broken picture frames and a busted wine bottle on the ground. I had a few friends come over before her family got there just in case she ends up driving over separately from her dad and sister. I wanted some witnesses for myself. I definitely didn't want to be alone. Her family comes over and gives me a hug and tells me everything is going to be okay and there is no need to further anything by getting the law involved, and somehow had me totally convinced that I shouldn't and that it was just a little blow up and things are cooled off and let's just go our separate ways and end things. At around 8:30 a.m., her dad and sister leave the house with all of her belongings, and it's me and my buddies just doing some cleaning here and there. We found my Nintendo Switch smashed and thrown out in my backyard, my keyboard for my computer with peanut butter smeared all over its keys, and all the batteries in my remotes throughout the house gone. Not as bad as I thought the house would be personally, but I took pictures of everything. The damaged electronics, the peanut butter keyboard, bottles and glass on the ground before we started doing any cleaning. So around 10 in the morning, the house is clean and looks like nothing happened inside my place, besides the stained rug that absorbed the red wine bottle that she smashed on the ground. We checked all the doors and windows to make sure everything was locked and secured. We all went to Costco for some food and supplies. It's Sunday, and it's still a beautiful day out, so why not get some burgers for grilling and have some brews with the boys? That's what I'm saying. Make the most of this shitty situation. So we're grilling and chilling in my backyard, talking about everything that happened to me the night before. I've got my buddies laughing at me and telling me, I told you she was crazy. You're lucky she didn't stab you in your sleep, bro. Meanwhile, I'm still convinced I'm not going to pursue legal action. Then I get a text from her. I see you have your boyfriends over the house. Are you homos having fun drinking and being losers together? I forgot that I logged her into my security cameras that I have around the outside of my house months ago when on vacation. The next text I receive is her saying, have fun trying to find your keys at the bottom of the lake. Have fun. Better bring your snorkel. So in my backyard, there's a pretty big lake that I live on, and I have a dock that goes out about 20 yards or about 18 meters for my metric users. And on this set of keys are my office/work truck/boat keys and everything important. I checked the cameras, and sure enough, I see her walking out there and throwing something off the end of the dock. I show my friends the text and video of what happened, and they look at each other and say, I guess it's swimming time. We get our board shorts on and grab a few of my scuba masks that I have in my garage and head to the lakeshore for the side quest that she gave us. One of my friends had a magnet fishing thing in his car and jumped up immediately excited to get a chance to use it. 2 hours later, and no luck. I about gave up at this point and can't see the bottom anymore from everyone kicking up the sediments when slimming and pushing off the ground to shoot back up for air. Plus, there was a storm rolling in to make matters worse. All of a sudden, my buddy says he feels something on his magnet. He pulls it up slowly, and sure the fuck enough, he finds my keys. Celebration commences. At that point, the fog that her dad and sister had me in cleared, and I lost it. I called the cops' non-emergency line and told them everything that happened the last few days, and I wanted to make sure that she's on record and takes accountability for everything that happened. I gave them pictures, wrote a report, and filed a restraining order on her. I gave them the video of her walking out of the dock and throwing an object into the water. No one has the right to put hands on anyone regardless of gender, and it's not fair to others in my situation that got the short end of the stick and now have that attached to them permanently. I did it for the next guy who's unlucky enough to fall into her trap of manipulation. The cops left and said that they're going to be in touch soon. Fast forward to today, I get an angry text from her dad saying, "How could you do this? You're the biggest pussy in the world, and you're gonna ruin someone's life over a few punches to the face. Be a man." I told him to stop texting me and to take care of his family. And then her sister calls me saying, "Good luck trying to find her. She flew out to California the day that you were looking for your keys in the lake. She's never coming back, so you wasted your time and made yourself look like a bitch." She hung up and blocked me. Isn't life grand? I'm not sure what that means for her now that she skipped town and is in another state, but we'll see. I just wanted to update everyone and thank you guys for the supportive comments on my post and left me messages in my inbox when the comments got locked. I tried to reply to everyone that DM'd me, but my mailbox got flooded and I couldn't get to them all. I never thought the post would blow up the way that it did. I was shocked, confused, and actually scared when I posted, but things are looking bright for me and life's getting a lot better. Again, thank you Reddit community for all of the help and advice you gave me. You guys truly deserve this win. In the comments, Thin Resource says, I'm proud of you. And OP says, thank you. Felt a lot better than I thought I would. I'm a firm believer now that DV can go both ways and it's not just one way. 91 Jammers replies to OP, absolutely. Even though women are typically physically weaker in a DV situation, they also experience that same shame of, I could have stopped this. My guess is the cops will be pissed that she left the state to evade and may pursue her harder. Did you get the phone call recorder? Because you might want to unblock to gather more evidence. However, do what's best for you in the big picture. OP says, she blocked me. Sorry, I should have made that clear. Her sister called, talked shit, and then blocked me. Annie Marsh says, perfect. Now all you have to do is change every password for everything you use online and block her and her entire family. OP says, as soon as she said that she was watching me and my friends grilling and drinking some beers in the backyard, I immediately changed my password for my Ring system. If you haven't yet, I would change your locks as well. She could have copied them if she's this crazy. OP says, that's a good idea. I'll call the locksmith right now. That whole family is toxic. No wonder she turned out like this. Considering the assault charges she should have caught on top of everything else, I hope she knows that she can't come back for a long time. She deserves nothing more than a couple of years in a 6x9. I'm surprised that it took OP that long to snap out of the fog. I would have thought as soon as he got that text message from her that would have snapped him out of it and enraged him enough to get revenge on the spot there, but, everyone works on their own timeline. It's good that he eventually got there and he did what he needed to do and didn't listen to that dick-headed family. Because to any rational person, they'll realize that the dad coming to say that and butter OP up so much was just bullshit. He was just enabling and defending her. He's like, oh, look, I know that she beat the shit out of you. She does that all the time. She's our little psychopath, Haha. Isn't she so weird? Don't worry about her. Forget she exists. Please don't go to the cops. Please, God, don't say anything to the cops. Let's downplay this one. I hope that your radar for what a normal thing to receive in your brain in the future is, OP, is now adjusted properly as a result of this situation. That when you hear someone like that dickhead dad come and downplay the situation, you go, oh my God, I need to actually double down right now. This is very serious. But yeah, she got what she deserved. I hope she never comes back into your life, and I hope you continue to press charges against her. Please, God, that would be so funny. Thank you for the story, and I'd love to know what you guys listening to the story have to say about this one down in the comments. Let me know. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.